Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. The tortoise and the hare. New York Giants coming back against the Patriots. Leicester City Premier League title. 3-1 comeback. Rocky. Cool runnings. The Mighty Ducks. This is a line you've heard at least once in your life and the basis of almost every underdog tale. Now, how does this apply to the title of the video? Well, while watching a Illuminati video, he dropped this gem.
I said, bro, y'all streaming niggas gotta know y'all worth. Y'all are everyday TV.
At first, when hearing it, I paid no mind to it, but as the line weighed on my head, it finally clicked. Streaming is just a natural evolution of media. Streaming is and always was supposed to become popular. The reason why is because traditional media has failed us. Corporations have always dominated and had a grip on traditional media. The invention of print media, radio, and television, gatekeepers were always present, as due to the sheer amount of money needed to be invested to appear on a local radar, nonetheless on a national or global scale. It often allowed big networks and corporations to control the production of majority of media for the general public, in turn becoming lazy due to their previous track record and current popularity, similar to their hair. The only issue is that the youth drive the market. Being at the age where you have the most amount of free time and disposable income, they will eventually become tired of the mainstream, as what was once new, popular, and hip with the kids become cookie cutter and sanitized as big corporations begin to create formulas to generate the most revenue, driving younger people elsewhere in order to find their entertainment, allowing the turtle to win. Nowhere else is this better shown than in the 90s. A generation who grew during the crack era, the AIDS epidemic, became disillusioned with the sanitization that the 80s brought and the lies told by the government. Now finally having the technology to discuss with a larger population of people outside of their hometown, while the kids at home were so media savvy that old school marketing and commercials just couldn't reach them. This allowed for the small guy to win. The Simpsons revolutionized TV, being a play on the popular nuclear family seen in all sitcoms of the time.
Make American families a lot more like the Waltons and a lot less like the Simpsons.
It pioneered edgy humor, social commentary, and politically charged satire that didn't have to play it safe or hide behind allegories, mainly showing that animation wasn't purely for kids, opening the floodgates for many creators to express their art forms the way they wanted to without being ostracized for their subject matter or dismissed as childish for being animated. Nirvana's Nevermind and Dr. Dre's The Chronic both hit the charts and made massive marks around the same time, channeling the sound and feel of the youth in both their respective cultures, at the time being small acts that had such massive success that it changed the mainstream music, allowing for more obscure and alternative music to make airplay we wouldn't have otherwise, and shows like Late Night with Conan O'Brien offering these alternative bands a platform to the mainstream public. Anime was beginning to have a major appeal to Western audiences, offering cohesive episodic storytelling not seen too often on network television, often tackling adult themes like death, violence, impacts of war, and hard language, while offering intense action and animation kids just couldn't find in their usual cartoons. ECW gave a breath of fresh air to professional wrestling, changing the landscape by blurring the lines between kayfabe and reality not seen quite like before, while having brutal violence that would never appear on network television today, offering a product to that 18 to 35-year-old age group the two other companies didn't provide for the North American audience. Directors like Quentin Tarantino, Kevin Smith, Wes Anderson, Spike Lee, Richard Linklater, Larry Clark made mainstream buzz with indie films by capturing the youth, the style, and the aimless conversations held to help time go by you didn't commonly see in films before that. We, now like the 90s, have come to that cultural antithesis, as now with social media, just as before, we have the technology to talk with individuals or groups around the world in an instant, while children even younger than before are the most media savviest we have ever seen, more times than less known greater than their parents. The only difference now is that majority of companies who relied on traditional media during the 2000s and early 2010s, when the internet was truly becoming mainstream, failed to adapt, watching and choosing to go down with the brain and shift of cable TV, print media, and the radio rather than adapting to the new. And with how advanced technology has become, almost everyone virtually having studio-grade quality cameras in their pockets, free of cheap software that can achieve movie quality editing, and platforms as YouTube, which allow for a person to post to a larger potential audience at the press of a button with monetization as well. There is no longer a need for gatekeepers, and people have awoken to that. Those young, hungry, and creative people who revolutionized media in the 90s are still here, but choosing self-worth and independence over shitty contracts and adhering to strict guidelines with the possibility of being kicked off the air. In turn, making apps like YouTube and Twitch the new network television channels for a younger generation, just like how Fox and MTV was for kids at that time period, becoming the de facto source of entertainment for many. So as a person who used to watch streams when I was younger, and mainly watching them through YouTube now, it's irritated me how streaming hate has always been prevalent. The same generation who got their music taste from Beavis and Butthead frequently like to scorn at streaming and often condescendingly look at streamers and their fans with the sentiment, why do people waste their time watching this? Or why are streamers so famous, and by extension YouTube as well, when they offer the same as traditional media but better? People like Kai and Aiden Ross are the new Ellen and Arsenio Hall show. People like the Needle Drop or Sean C are the new Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert from music. Why watch Stephen A continually talk about LeBron, or the same arguments on First Take, when channels like King of the Fourth Quarter, Rusty Buckets, and Legend of Winning offer better analysis without the padding or forced moments for clips? Channels like Solid JJ are the new Robot Chicken. People like RDC, Caleb City, I Trade Not Funny are the new Chappelle Show, and the behind the scenes, interviews, and extra content you used to buy DVDs for and no longer provided with the advent of streaming can all be found on people's live streams on YouTube. People still demand for this content. Streaming can honestly be seen as the amalgamation of all traditional media, offering news like the paper, live interactive commentary akin to the radio, and entertainment like television to your specific interest. And I believe those from traditional media are figuring that out now too, as we see more crossover between the two from those of higher ranked celebrity and mainstream media outlets adapting to streaming services and YouTube, as they see people like Kai Cenat or Speed as that gateway to the younger audience that they lost touch of a long time ago. Now, is streaming perfect? No. Streaming just can't fully offer the same quality as structured content, as there are no cuts or reshoots and mistakes can easily be made, and they aren't able to communicate the same values and messaging like TV shows and movies can. And although yes, it's good there are less restrictions than regular network television, this can be an issue though, as these same restrictions forced a more creative exertion from those who needed to fight for their time slots to depict their ideas or messaging to a general audience. As now we're seeing the repercussions of having more individuals be able to and try to gain clout or success with less restrictions, resembling the Crash TV and Jerry Springer effect of the late 90s. But streaming honestly is a really good thing and needed, as no different to comedy clubs or SNL, these are the breeding grounds for new entertainers, actors, and directors who didn't have the same outreach as before, and as mainstream media pays more attention to it, this could have a new injection of life into these mainstream outlets which have been out of touch and feeling so soulless in recent memory. So for those who hate streaming, honestly, just try it. If you don't like it, fuck it, you don't like it. But that doesn't mean that you should disregard the entertainment and the creative force that comes through these individuals to give the entertainment to your children. This is me in post. So I'm starting to become a little semi-consistent, like I was saying before. No promises, but for now I do have this itching feeling to just like really post really consistently. So you guys will see a decent amount of content coming in the next few days. No promises though. And besides that, just tune into the Twitch, subscribe, and fuck it. Laters.